So we're going to start with this 41 Ford drag truck, plastic bottom. It's a 97 Malaysia casting. Never been a fan of plastic bottoms, but they do have some cool vehicles. And because of these ugly tempos and a few nicks and chips on the paint, we're making this a candidate for a repaint and wheel swap. And of course, first things first, we have to drill out the rivet. In this case, there's only one, and it is plastic. And we'll get this separated, and as you'll be able to see here, the glass falls right out. So there's nothing really hard about getting this one taken to pieces. Now we get these wheels removed, and we'll get ready for the very next step, which is usually removing paint. So we'll set it up here in the goo, and we'll start working on other parts while this is getting a good. So now we've moved on and primered the chassis, and we're throwing a coat of white over that. I figured the white would be a good contrast to the color we've chosen for the truck. Took me a little while to pick a color. I almost wanted to just leave it metal, but this will work out great now. In the meantime, we'll polish up the glass really quick. Wasn't too many. And now that it's clean, we'll go ahead and dunk it in the pledge. That made it crystal clear. I'll dab some of the excess off. And we'll cover it up to make sure none of the little eye bookers get in there. It's time to check the paint now. We've had it in the goo for about 15 minutes. And let's see what it looks like here. It's already starting to pull itself away from the chassis, so the paint is basically melted. So now we've scrubbed it clean. I used a Brillo pad, and as you can see, some of the paint's still trying to hold on in the crevices. But that's okay, we'll use it as body liner. For now, we're going to concentrate on shaving off some of the casting lines, which there's quite a few on this one. Some real ugly ones here on the fender, around the light. And I can't let those go. Since this is going to be a quote-unquote custom instead of a restoration, well, we're just going to do a few modifications here. So you can see the back on the tail light. Some pretty ugly lines there. All in all, it's a decent casting, very workable. After a little more cleaning, the body's starting to look better. We filed off as much as we could to remove some of those casting lines. And now we just need to give it another scrubbing and polish. Like they say, a little flitz goes a long way. And we have a mirror polish finish here on most of the vehicle. But for what we're going to do, this is going to work perfect. So I chose a Tamiya X27 clear red for this, which over the bare metal body should look really, really nice. So now we're going to go ahead and give the chassis, wheels, and interior a coat of the matte clear. I wanted to switch the wheels over to these rubber tires that I got from a Johnny Lightning car. And as a little add-on to the vehicle, we're going to put this decal on the wing here. It'll add a nice little touch. So now we got the chassis put together. Wheels are on. Everything's flat and even. Now we're going to try and do a little bit of assembly here. I still need to paint one thing on the body. And there she is, fellas. So as you can see, we did the Molotov chrome on the grill, the wheels, and the chassis. And I did the wheelie bar wheels in a bright red. The only thing left to do is copy the white stripe on the tire onto the other side. And the chassis will be finished. I'm going to use some of the Tamiya tape. And we're going to wrap it around the tire. Just to the edge. Make sure we don't have any bleed through. I've chosen an area where I want it to be. The stripe is going to be a little towards the top on this side compared to the other side of the car was down towards the bottom. Now I'll rub that nice and smooth down and get all the edges in. Make sure there's no bleed. Now just mask off where I want the stripe. Alright, now I'm just going to use a little Craft Smart white paint, plain white. It's not a gloss, just a matte. We're going to go ahead and brush that white onto the tire to get the effect we're looking for. That looks good enough, so we'll peel the tape off to see if we have a good seal off or if we had any bleed. And it looks great. So first we're going to do a little black primer on the parachute and get it nicely covered. So we're going to use a little bit of white for the parachute. While we're waiting on the parachute to dry, we're going to go ahead and install our glass. Just a little dab of BSI. Sit the window in. And we're going to use a little bit of the kicker on a Q-tip to get it to set. Now that the window's in, we're going to go ahead and pop our interior back in. And in this one, the tail has to go through the body first, and then it'll snap down in place there. We're going to double check and make sure everything's fitting and lining up correctly here. And now we'll put the chassis in, get that lined up. As you see, the grill goes in first, holds it in place. It's just one screw we're going to put in. Now forgive me for not using the correct type of screw, but this is what I have available to me at the moment. So there we have it, guys. 44 drag truck done in Tamiya clear red. All in all, it's an awesome build. I love the color. The chrome came out looking great. The wheels were exactly what this Hot Wheels needed. It really gave it a nice touch. A couple decals on there made it tie in to some few detail work. So you could see in the interior or not. There were gauges in there. I love the way it sits. I love the color. It's one badass truck. So if you guys liked it, go ahead and hit a thumbs up on the channel there. And for all my subscribers, I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned for more.